Welcome back to the Gridiron Grind with Andrew and Lance. Today's episode, we're going to touch on our fantasy teams a little bit, and we're going to pick every single game from week one. Week one is here. It's here, Lance. We've made it. I see you're wearing your Eagles. I got to wear my Vikings because it's officially the start of the NFL season. How are you feeling?
Andrew, it's amazing. No offense to college football, but nothing compares to NFL football for me.
I
I
agree.
just,
I agree.
it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's something amazing. Can we also just take a moment to just appreciate how great it was to see Bill Belichick get the doors
Oh,
blown off on
that
Monday
was
Night Football?
awesome. That was awesome. He started out with a 7-0 lead. It's like, oh, he might actually do something. And nope. It was all
So
downhill from there.
I saw this a few days later, but I saw that Skip Bayless was like, Bill Belichick has got an NFL prolific offense. And like he said that right after the drive, and it's like, oh, Skip, you
He
said that
always does
about
that.
2 hours too early. Like that
Hmm.
was don't do that because I'm sure the rest of the night his comments were just filled with what a
Hmm.
ridiculous hot take that was. But
Yeah, that sounds like Skip Bayless.
I guess the part that the reason I bring that up is I don't know if you saw, but Bill Belichick just absolutely beat up on the NFL system because there's an owner and he talked about having to
Mm,
report the owner and the owner's son and like we all know what he's saying. Like, okay, you're talking about the Patriots. Like, we're not dumb. It's.
right.
It,
Yep.
I think that he has taken for granted how nice it is to be an NFL coach. You don't have
Hmm.
to recruit. Everybody's under contract. You just get to
They're all
focus on
adults.
football. Yeah, and if the player's tired of playing for you, they can't just go transfer to another school.
Hmm. They have to play
Um,
out their contract.
so I mean, yeah, it was refreshing, Andrew. It was
Yep.
refreshing for that to happen. So.
Yep. Yep.
And by
Yep.
the
I
way,
was very happy as well.
I just want to stand on this hill again. If to me, I feel like if the Chiefs get one more Super Bowl somewhere, they are the best head coach QB duo ever. I just I've seen enough. I saw Andy Reid with Donovan McNabb, and
Hmm.
that's how great Andy Reid is. He can get you almost to a Super Bowl. And with Patrick Mahomes, he's gotten you three Super Bowls, four Super Bowl appearances. It's been to five
Hmm.
Super Bowls. Like uh, it's time to stop acting like Bill Belichick is some incredible coach. He's a good coach. He's a good coach, but he's clearly a flawed coach.
And he also had a really good defense and the GOAT for quarterback. And then
Yeah,
you saw when the GOAT left him, the GOAT, Tom Brady, still got himself another ring.
I know.
Bill Belichick never got anywhere close when Brady left.
Yeah,
That's
I,
that's all you really need to know there.
I don't know. And to me, it's like if he's that great of a coach, what's with the hiccup here? Because at
Hmm.
college, it should be even easier to turn a program around because everyone's going to want to transfer to you. They're going to want to come to you. He's in the
Yep.
ACC, which is a weaker conference, and to get the doors blown off by TCU, like wow. It's
Yeah.
one
And
game.
TCU isn't like projected to be great this year. They're
No,
fine,
yeah,
but they're not projected to be like a college playoff team. If this was like Ohio State, all right, you got your doors blown off by possibly the best team in the whole country, but it's TCU. They're maybe above average.
yeah. Maybe we should slow down the steam on how good this team's going to be. So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm glad we get to put that to the side, Andrew. Now we get to real
Yes.
football. So I'm really
Yes.
excited. I
Or
can't wait.
we can start with fantasy football, which is real fake football.
Yes, yes. No, that's fair. We probably should revisit fantasy football. So Andrew, I've got a confession for you.
What you got?
Um, I typically max myself at four fantasy teams max.
Okay.
I have more than four fantasy teams. Do you want to guess how many fantasy teams I have?
It kind of sounds like it's maybe more than one above four. I'm gonna say you have six.
It's even more.
Okay. How high is this? Is this eight? Is this nine?
It's nine. I've got nine fantasy teams.
Wow. That's even
It
more than me
was
this year.
it was on complete accident. That was not my intention. And I kept getting invited over and over again. And then I
Hmm.
met up with my in-laws and my sister-in-law is dating a guy and he's like, "Hey, we're starting up a fantasy football league." And I'm like, I guess I don't really have a choice. All right. So I'm joining this one too. So it just kept happening over and over again where I kept getting invited to join these
Hmm.
leagues. So yeah, I am at nine fantasy football leagues. Um,
I think I'm at 7. Yes, I'm
okay,
at 7.
that's good.
Hmm.
So, well, and honestly, I was gonna say too, like the sleeper league, that's like a quarter of the work because you don't redraft for too long.
Right, right. That's why I was thinking, do I have 6 or 7? I technically have 7, but only 6 of the actual redrafts. So yeah,
Yeah. So I'm sure you don't want to review all fantasy teams, but you're thinking like maybe our league that
we
we
could
have
use the
together,
league.
or
Yeah, we could do our deep 16 team league. Yeah, because
okay,
that one's probably the, I don't want to say the most competitive, but the most interesting because basically everyone is paying attention, and 16 teams, that's deep rosters right there.
yeah, it's a really deep roster. Oh man.
Hmm.
Here we go. I've got you pulled up first, so we can go ahead and talk about your beloved QB.
Okay, okay, beautiful, beautiful. Um, which my beloved QB, JJ McCarthy, main reason why he's on a lot of my fantasy teams is A, he's my guy. He's JJ. And B, I try to draft for value. And it seems like quarterback is the one position that gets overdrafted every single year, which kind of makes sense because it's a quarterback league and everyone loves their quarterbacks. But I just can't draft a Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson before round 3, and they're always gone before then. And then I can't draft like a Kyler Murray or a Bo Nix before like round 7, and they're always gone by then. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm just gonna draft the way I like to draft, get my guys at good value because they're getting passed on a little bit, and then wait at quarterback. And usually no one's really drafting McCarthy because he's a big unknown, which, hey, he is. He might be average in fantasy this year, which is a highly likely outcome. But if he is average, the rest of my team is pretty good. And I feel like I can make up for an average quarterback. Now, if JJ McCarthy is above average, if he's like a top 10-ish fantasy quarterback, then my team is really good. So that's what I've always done at quarterback almost all the time. I never get the Josh Allens or Lamar Jacksons unless I trade for him. I think I traded for one last year in this league. But I believe in my guy. He's probably going to get off to a kind of a slow start, which just makes sense. They're probably going to have him make maybe 25 pass attempts, something like that. So, not expecting a lot out of the gate week 1, but eventually he might do a little something, something. He's got weapons. He's got a coach that made Sam Darnold look like not a bust, like he's been his whole career.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I don't think there's something you don't like about JJ McCarthy this year.
I think that the league is definitely sleeping on him. I just Here's the thing: if JJ McCarthy is half as good as he was at college level, and he's playing with Justin Jefferson, he's got Adam Thielen, he's got T.J. Hawkinson, he's got Aaron Jones, he's got Jordan Mason. Are you seriously telling me he's going to botch things that bad that the team is going to be
Hmm.
bad? I mean, that's what you're saying. That's the option. Is you're saying that he has to
Hmm.
be so bad that he can't play with a competent cast around him. It's not even competent. I mean, this is a that's an A minus group right there, at least, right? I mean,
Yeah. I would say like top 6, top 5 in that range.
and then once Jordan Addison comes back, I mean,
Hmm.
Thielen is going to fit in just great as a number 3, and he's back home. Like this is a
Hmm.
it's a win-win. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see how it's going to go, but and we can't get to our picks yet. That's too soon. But
Yeah. Yeah.
come
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
guys.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the rest of my team, I tell people all this all the time. I always get low ratings on platforms like ESPN, whatever, Yahoo, all those other sleepers, all those other draft platforms. They always give me a low grade because I don't usually go with the status quo. I don't go with what they believe is the best option because that is playing for fourth. That is playing for, hey, I'm gonna have a good team, but I'm probably not gonna win. I want to win. So I got to take risks. I'm either getting first or ninth. That's what I tell everybody all the time. And that's kind of what this roster is. It's either first or ninth. Probably not a lot in between because look at all these guys that you don't really know if they're going to be great. Trevor Henderson, potential to be great. He showed a lot of stuff in preseason games and training camp. But do we know? No, we don't because he's a rookie. Krosky Merritt, the same thing. He's getting a lot of buzz out of camp. This could be the starting running back because they traded Brian Robinson Jr. But do we know? No, we don't. And then Nico Collins, he's been injury prone his whole career. If he's healthy, he's a top five wide receiver. But if he's not, then I got to adjust. Drake London, he's had all the talent in the world, but never been fully put it together. Last year, he was close. I think he was like wide receiver six total last year. Can he take the next step? Maybe, maybe not. Martin Harris Jr. is a great example. He had a good year, but compared to where he was drafted, number four overall pick, it was a disappointment. And I got him as my third receiver. If he turns out to be a wide receiver one, like he has the talent to, is he going to do it? We'll see. But if he does, that's a steal at my flex spot. And then one of my favorite guys, Evan Ingram, because, Sean Payton loves to have his Joker role, and that's what Evan Ingram's going to be. Is that going to be a lot of touches, a lot of usage? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. It's just a lot of unknowns on my starting roster, and that's what I almost always go with. It's the high ceiling, but probably a little bit low floor. But if the high ceiling hits, gotta watch out. This could do something. And then like my bench as well. Tyler Warren, I always draft a lot of rookies. He has the potential to be huge with the Colts. Because what else they got? Michael Pittman Jr. and then that's about it. And then I something I've been trying to do as well. I got the basically the full Browns backfield because Jerome Ford's going to start, but we know what Jerome Ford is. He's a fine guy, but he's not going to be the guy there for long. It's going to be one of those two rookies. It's going to be Quinshon Judkins or Dylan Sampson. Now, Judkins still isn't signed, which is concerning because of his whole off-field issues, and they're trying to work out his contract. So right now, it's a basically a nothing burger. He's not even playable. But if by week six he's signed and he's the guy, then I got possibly a starting running back on my third spot on my bench that I could take over for any of my guys at any time. Or if it's Dylan Sampson, if he shows out and starts the year as the two behind Jerome Ford and you can't take him off the field because he's really good, I got him on my bench too. That's just what I like to do is just get possible starters that aren't going to be there at the beginning of the year, but maybe halfway through the year, they might be the guy. And then I got Blake Corum because I still believe that he is a probably the best insurance back because I don't know. He just, man, the Rams are an interesting team. They're an interesting team. Matthew Stafford's already dinged up. And I don't know. It seems like the guy in front of him is so slight. He is so small. Kyron Williams is awesome, but those smaller backs, I always have concern that they're not going to last. He's lasted so far a lot the past 3 years. He hasn't missed a lot of time, but I feel like he could miss time still. And if he does, Blake Corum's going to be a starting running back. So that's just what you got to do on your bench. Is just fill it with guys that have potential to do something. And then I drafted Christian Watson as my last pick, basically, and I snuck him on my IR spot so I can pick up somebody else. And Christian Watson, when he's healthy, he's been fine. He's been fine. Now I know they got Matthew Golden, so it's a big time dart throw, but if he's healthy, like week 8, and Matthew Golden hasn't quite panned out to what they expected, then Christian Watson's going to go back to his normal role of being one of their main guys. So I like my bench, and my starters are boom or bust kind of potential, and that's usually what I do.
Yeah, I think it's you made some good moves. The one I'm really curious about is Krosky Merritt, and that one's so tough to know right now. I just
Yeah. Yeah.
it,
Yeah,
it
I was hoping to get Tyrone Tracy Jr. That's what I
oh yeah.
usually do in like my mocks around that time, but he got snagged before I can draft. And so JCM was like my last option to say, okay, after him, there's like nobody I feel okay with starting right away because again, I went wide receiver heavy. I drafted Trevin Harrison in the third round, but that's just because he's my guy. I got to get him. But after that, didn't get another running back for a long time, and that was
Yeah.
Krosky Merritt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you already talked about it, but the underrated move I think for your roster for me is the Christian Watson move. Um, I think that fantasy owners overlook this move a lot, but when you get to the rounds like 13 through 15, that's
Hmm.
where you're looking for people that could make a difference halfway through the season.
Hmm.
Um, I'm thinking like Chase Brown a few years ago for the Cincinnati Bengals. People didn't think he was going to start, but it
Yep.
was absolutely worth for myself to burn a pick on him. And then by week 8, he's taking the bulk of the carries. And
Hmm.
so that's what you're looking for, or stash the guy in IR. Another thing too that I mentioned to people because like sometimes maybe you might think you don't want them, but you can always leave them there. Things change, and then if someone gets on IR, you can release them later. Here's the other thing: if one of these other players ends up on IR, and then you kick him to the free agency, like no one's going to be looking for Christian Watson in free agency.
Pretty much.
So there's a
Hmm.
good chance that you could get him back if you just monitor to make sure that you try to get him back before he's like 2 weeks before he's eligible to come off of IR.
Hmm.
So if you're watching the free agency wire and paying attention to the news, get him back. You don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
So
For sure.
yeah, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Love the Evan Engram signing or drafting. He's going to be great. Um, another thing too I liked is people overthink this one. You picked the Denver's
Yeah.
kicker.
Yeah,
Super
because the
smart.
high altitude and they a lot of times they have an extra 5 yards because of that high altitude. And Will Lutz has always been really good. He's been really good.
Well, it's not just that though, but Bo Nix is not bad, but he is not a
Right.
finisher. He's not a. This is not the guy I'd want out there, and it's a 2 minute drive, and we could get a touchdown to win or a field goal to kick. Most likely, we're going to get the field goal to kick.
Hmm.
And so like you want that offense that's like good enough but not great enough.
Right.
Like for me,
That's what
like
you want for your kicker.
I avoided the Baltimore Ravens because I feel like that Lamar Jackson's pretty good at getting touchdowns. Josh Allen, a little bit of the same thing. Like you want a team that you can feel confident that they're going to get field goals.
Hmm.
So yeah, I liked your Will Lutz selection. The 5 yard advantage too is also a great point because that's 8 games automatically that you get a
Hmm.
5 yard increase in range. So yeah,
Yeah. And then I grabbed the Cardinals defense because again, I usually don't draft defenses that high, and a lot of players tend to want to fill out their roster before they get to their bench, which that's a way to do it. I don't do it that way. I like to get bench players that have potential to start for me eventually. And so I usually get the worst of the worst options at defense. So I usually play the streaming game. And who do the Cardinals play week 1? Oh yeah, they play the Saints. That's all you got to know. And they have a underrated defense. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's probably average to slightly above average. They get the job done enough. They don't get torched on defense, and they're playing the Saints. So,
I think they have one of the best 14 defenses. I think you could probably argue
yeah,
that.
that's fair. And they picked up Walter Nolan in the draft, which only helps out. So,
Yeah, and you got Josh Sweat on the edge that I think is going to help out a lot.
mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
so yeah, I wouldn't sleep on the Cardinals. They're a team I think that are going to
I kind of agree.
stir
Everyone's
the pot.
saying the Rams and the Niners, which the Niners I don't really get, but the Rams with Stafford injured, I don't know. Cardinals might have a shot at that division.
Yeah, I mean it just kind of depends on how things come together, but they have a good offense. They have pieces.
Hmm.
Um, now if Kyler Murray can put the games down, then. maybe they have a chance. I still cannot believe that they wrote that into the contract.
I know, right? That's wild.
Even if that's in the contract, could you find a way to bury it so no one else finds about it?
Hmm. Instead of letting it spread out there into the wide world.
Yeah, I don't know, but and you were right when we talked about Marvin Harrison. I guess that it is hard for him that he's Marvin Harrison Jr.
Hmm.
He's got big shoes to fill in trying to be like his dad in terms of NFL play. So, but he had a pretty good year last year. Drake London, it's Nico Collins. I think is probably like one of your best guarantee picks because Tank Dell's not going to be there, and
Hmm.
that's going to open up targets for Nico a lot.
It's
Um,
just health. He's missed a lot of time every year. If he can stay healthy, then he's going to end the year probably top five receiver.
I think that's a fair guess. So, well, man, I like it. I think you did a good job with your team. The other part too, you got to throw out. You drafted 15 out of 60, so you gotta
Yep.
take more dart throws. This isn't
Yep.
middle of the draft, or
Hmm.
you got to take more dart throws as you draft higher and higher.
Yep. Nico Collins was my first pick. Drake London was my second pick.
It's a good 1-2 combo. Um,
Hmm.
you got a solid receiver room. So
The
yeah,
only like coin flip I had was the Marvin Harrison Jr. pick. It was either picking him or James Conner. And I was like, ooh, because at that time I only had Trayvon Henderson and I was thinking, okay, do I do the safe pick in James Conner and know I'm getting like 14 points every single game, steady Eddie, and James Conner's he's just steady. He's not gonna boom any weeks, but he's not gonna bust either. He's very consistent. Or do I take a risk and go Marvin Harrison Jr., who could be great or could be average again? That's what I went with. And then I waited, and I had to wait a little bit longer on a running back. So I went the risky move. We'll see if it pans out. James Conner might have been the better pick there. He very well could have been, but I went Marvin Harrison Jr. because I like receivers in PPR formats, and I like to try to shoot for the moon instead of just kind of be fine.
yeah, no, that's fair. So well, we'll
Should we
see
look at
how it
your
goes,
team
man.
now?
Yeah, we'll have to keep people updated as far how our team does every week.
Mm-hmm.
But I also agree with you on the defensive comment. I forgot to mention that. You switch out defenses all the time. It's matchup
Mm-hmm.
dependent.
Yep.
Um, so here's my team. Um, I didn't love the Caleb Williams pick, but
Mm-hmm.
I ultimately went with Caleb Williams where I drafted him. I think it was probably round 10, because the fact that he has running capability. And in fantasy football, if your quarterback has any running capability, it gives you more points.
It's
It
huge.
just it just does. Because if they run for 10 yards on their own, that's an automatic point for
Mm-hmm.
you. And it can be really hard to get points another way if your quarterback has no legs. Like we talked a little bit about this, but Joe Burrow, great quarterback, but doesn't like to run. That is not his game. He likes
Mm-hmm.
to shift, but he doesn't like to pick up chunks of yards. And so that means that he's probably not going to get you as many points as he could in some scenarios. So it's a little the floor,
Yeah.
the ceiling's not as high
Yeah. Joe Burrow
because
basically has to get like 4,500 yards and 40 touchdowns every single season to be a good fantasy quarterback because he doesn't use his legs. Now, Joe Burrow has proven that he does that often, but to be dependent on that as on your fantasy quarterback, especially when you draft one as high as Joe Burrow is, yeah, it's not the best scenario. And like you said, you got Caleb Williams so late, round 10 or 11, whatever it was, and he uses legs at least a little bit. And plus, he's got that Ben Johnson offense now. So he's probably going to be better than he was last year. But last year, he was low key, I think like QB 11 or 12. So if you're increasing that at all, then hey, you got a great still there.
yeah. And then moving on, I my first pick was Ashton Genty.
And I called that. I saw that I think you were pick 11, something like that, 11 or 12.
That sounds right.
And I saw how the draft was flowing, and I saw him still available with 2 picks before you. And I was thinking, oh, he is totally getting Genty if he falls. I think I sent you a message right before your pick. I was like, you're going Genty. I know you are. And boom, he was there, and he didn't even hesitate.
I mean, the value is just too great.
I'd pick 12 for sure. I mean, he should have gone like 4 spots earlier.
Well, and I understand that people can be hesitant because they're like, he was at BSU. Like this isn't BSU opponents that they'll be playing, but Genty was special, man. He was
Hmm.
really special. And you want to know just how special he was? Just go back and watch the BSU USF highlights. Which, if no one saw that, the Broncos lost. It was like what 34-3, or 34-7. It was so bad. I didn't even watch the game last week. I got distracted with something else and saw the score, and I was like, oh no, this is not worth my time. That's not. I'm not ready to watch
Hmm.
something for 3 hours and just be mad. Um, but Genty's that good. He is that good. Um, so I'm excited for it. And then for my RB2, I think that I also got no. I think I went Ashton Genty, then I went Brock Bowers,
Yep.
which that one I'm really excited about.
Which we
We
do
didn't
have to
mention.
specify. Yeah, you were just
Mhm.
going to get there as well. That we did a little rule tweak, and it's um, what's called a tight end premium. So every catch tight ends get is not just 1 point, it's 1.5 points. So tight ends are a little bit more valuable here.
Yes. So that gives him a little more value in terms of this
Hmm.
league. I went Chuba Hubbard with my third pick, which I like Chuba Hubbard a lot. I think people are sleeping on
Yeah,
the
he's
Panthers a little bit,
underrated.
how competitive they're going to
Yep.
be. Um, the one I was really surprised, I think this was round four, was Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think he's wide receiver one in Seattle. I think he's going to
For
get the
sure.
bulk of the targets, and I don't know how good Sam Darnold's going to be, but I
Hmm.
expect Njigba to be consistent. Um, and true to my Eagles self, I got Devontae Smith.
I saw that one coming too. I saw your pick coming up. I saw him still there. I was like, okay, I know where that's going to go.
Well, I mean, here's what I'll say about it: is he got about 800 yards last year, and so I think people are like, oh, "This guy's not as good anymore." And I don't think that's what happened. I think the Eagles just, I don't think that's what the Eagles want to do moving forward. I really don't. I
Hmm.
think they just did what they had to do, and um, I don't think people realized how big of a machine Saquon Barkley was going to be to the offense, how big of a cog.
Right.
And now it's going to change. It's going to adjust. And so I expect Devontae to have a much more increased role this year. And also,
Hmm.
he has consistently told the team that he wants to try his best to reach the 1,000 yard mark every year. And
This could be the year.
yeah, I mean, because he got 1,000 yards 2 years in a row before that, 2022 and 2023.
Hmm.
He got to 1,000 yards. So I expect him to go
Hmm.
back to 1,000. I don't expect him to stay down at 800. Travis Hunter was a dart throw. In fact, I took him in way more leagues than I thought, but he kept being available in like the eighth, ninth
Yeah.
round. So it's like,
Yeah.
if he's available, sure, I'll take him. Because the other part too that's not thrown in here, Andrew, but in our league, if he scores touchdowns on kickoff returns, those are points. You get to
Hmm.
take advantage of those points as an individual. It's not just special teams tied. So if he does good enough on kickoff or punt returns, those are more points that I can get on my team. So
Yep.
um, yeah, so I went with him. Commanders, same thing. It was a streaming option. I'm just not in love with the Giants offense right now. If Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback, which I continue to hear that he's going to be in week
Hmm.
one, then I think that that's a benefit to the Commanders. So I expect them to be able to win that game. And then we talked about kickers. I think the same thing. The Lions week one, I could see the Packers settling for a lot of field goals. So
Yeah.
I liked that option. I picked up Jordan Addison. I have a firm policy on this, Andrew. I just want to say this, by the way. I know that some people can kind of judge others for drafting suspended players. If the issue was not severe, I could be more inclined to forgive and like move on. But like for
Hmm.
me, Rasheed Rice, I couldn't do it, man. There's so many times in the
Yeah.
draft that I was like, no, no, that incident in Dallas was so bad, and I didn't feel like his apology was very sincere. No, like
Hmm.
I can't. I do have a standard when it comes to that. Deshaun Watson, when he went to the Cleveland Browns, same thing. I was a
Mm.
firm
Mm.
not taking this guy. Um, but moving on after that, I got Dallas Goddard. I think he's in a contract year. He's going to leave Philly.
Interesting. Yeah.
I could
He
see
wants to
him
show
being
out.
better than people think he'll be. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be very motivated to get to 4,000 yards. So I could see the ball getting passed around a lot. Wandale Robinson, I don't know how good he's going to be, but I felt like he was a good dart throw. Damian Pierce
Hmm.
was a total accident. Did not mean to take him. Uh, but he's on my team now. Congrats, Damian, on being there by sheer luck. Um, Jonnu Smith, that is a guy I feel like is not getting.
No one's talking about him. And I think people are going to regret that because he went to the guy that loves him. But basically, um, all relations out there, all relationships, get someone who looks at you like Arthur Smith looks at John Smith. He loves his John Smith.
He sure does. Um, I, I mean, I know that they had Fryermuth, but
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm not high on Fryermuth right now. I feel like that. I
Hmm.
feel like the love for him in Pittsburgh's cooled off,
And if
and
you
I
look at their team, who do they have as far as pass catchers? They're probably going two tight end sets constantly. So Jonnu Smith's going to get on the field with Freiermuth a lot, and Jonnu Smith's probably he's faster. He might be a better pass catcher than Freiermuth. It's close, but like I said, Arthur Smith loves him, so it's probably going to be DK, maybe Calvin Austin as their second receiver, or someone else that's on that team, Roman Wilson, but it'll be another guy outside of DK, and then probably two tight ends. They're probably going to run the ball, play action, and get the ball out quick, and those big tight ends are going to be over the middle. Jonnu Smith's going to get heavily involved.
yeah. After Jonnu, I went with Bryce Young. The reason I went ahead and I got him was because it was like round 14, and I could not believe that Bryce Young was still available. And so I went ahead and drafted him because if he's as good as he was at the end of last year, he will
Hmm.
be reeling in the points. I mean,
I mean, he has potential to start over Caleb Williams, depending on how he looks.
right, right. Well, and that was the part of the reason I went for him, as I feel like Caleb Williams has a higher floor, but Bryce Young has a higher ceiling. And if that ceiling really starts to take off, then
Yeah.
absolutely I can swap the rules. I don't have to keep Caleb Williams, but keep it for now, see how it works out. So I like
Hmm.
that setup. And then I went with Devon with the Saints. He was a free agent, actually. I didn't draft him. And the reason I signed him was because
Yep.
that trade was super expensive. A
It
fourth and a
was.
seventh, that's a premium trade. Um, as far as for a late season or late camp trade. So they're expecting him to be a difference maker.
He could very well be there too. Rashid Shaheed's normally there too, but I mean, Devon Vale, he's talented. He's shown that. And like you said, they paid a lot, so they're probably going to want to use him.
Yeah. So we'll see. And then that's the other thing. Going back to Travis Hunter real quick, you just gave up a first round pick next year.
Hmm.
Your GM's going to be coming in during games if not enough is happening to tell you, dude, I need you to
Hmm.
start using our guy that we just traded additional picks for. So there's going to be pressure to get this guy involved. So do I think
Oh,
that's going to
for
be
sure.
good for the overall trajectory of the Jaguars? No, because I think you make dumb decisions when you think about justifying trades. But I can absolutely see it as being a concern for the Jaguars after making a foolish trade when there was people like, oh, I don't know, Ashton Genty available or McMillan available. No, instead you go get
Hmm.
Hunter. And anyway, I think Hunter could be good. So I like his potential. Oh, and then the other part is I stashed Joe Mixon on my IR. No idea if he's coming back, but hey, if he comes back, he's going to get the lion's share of carries.
Yeah, I mean, there's two outcomes for Joe Mixon. Either he misses the entire year, which is crazy. I don't expect that, but there's a little steam on that. Or he misses X amount of games, comes back, and then you have a top 20 running back that you got basically for free.
Well, the part that's interesting is like they didn't even put him on the pup, so I don't know what that means. But
Yeah.
he should have been on the pup to start out the year. I mean, did you hear that he was transferred to the pup? Maybe I should check that right now. I didn't see anything. Oh, they did place him on the pup on the non-injury football list or the non-football injury list. So they went NFI instead of pup. I wasn't expecting
Hmm.
that. Okay, so we'll see what happens. But overall, happy with my roster. I think it's going to be competitive, and yeah, should be good.
Absolutely. This is going to be fun. And the way fantasy football goes, the draft is not the end of the season. It's the biggest chunk of your roster by the end of the year, but there's going to be so much moving and shaking, free agents, trades. So if anyone out there doesn't like their draft, it's okay. You can improve it. Make a trade. There's waiver wire all the time. And honestly, losing week one isn't always the worst thing because week one, there's always something crazy no one expected. There's a guy like no one thought that guy was going to be good. And if you lose week one, you have a great chance of getting him. So I'm just saying, this isn't your final roster. That's not my final roster. Things are going to move and shake, and it's going to be improved upon with all the things that you can do.
Well, and I just bring this up as an example, but Howie Roseman consistently moves practice squad players,
Hmm.
um, and he's constantly like basically pulling levers, bringing guys in, pulling guys out, and trying to see what would be the best matchup for each week. That's the way you have to view fantasy football. You know,
Hmm.
if you see the Commanders are going through a stretch where they're playing five playoff teams, probably not a good idea to continue to keep them in your starting
Yeah.
spot. You're
Hmm.
asking for trouble. I thought about drafting the Kansas City Chiefs. They start off with like five playoff opponents, so maybe don't.
Hmm.
Even if it sucks to miss out on them, you could probably afford to let that team go to someone else, and they'll be disappointed with the amount of points they get.
And then they'll probably drop them, and then you can get them for free.
Right, right. So yeah, it's all a strategy game. Just continue to
Hmm.
think things out, and yeah, I agree. So, well,
Yeah,
man, this is gonna be it's gonna be interesting. I'm interested to see how things shake out in this league. Um, did
absolutely.
did it tell you what, or did you see what the projections are for players in our league? I haven't even looked.
As far as like the power rankings, is what ESPN gives you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
gave me 14th. I was like, all right, cool. I think I told you this. I'm gonna print it out and put it on the locker room in front of all my fantasy players so they have motivation to prove them wrong.
Yep. Yep. So, well, yeah, man, that'll be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. I played my friend Logan this week. It was funny when he was. This is a paid league. It's not a very big paid league. It's just like a $10 paid league. But
Hmm.
he submitted his Venmo to me and said my annual uh, contributions to the fantasy football league, referring to that he's like it's a charity donation for him.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, man, it'll be fun. I'm excited to see how players do this week. So it'll be a fun
Absolutely.
one.
Well, we have a little time left. Should we get into our game picks for
I
week
like it.
one?
Yes.
For week one. So do we want to go back and forth? Like each game I pick, then you pick, or do we want to go the full 16, then you do the full 16?
No, no, I like it. Let's do back and forth. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So obviously the first game, and we can give like how confident we are because there's some of these that's like a coin flip that I wrote down. Like I'm picking that team, but I am not super confident in that. But the first game is probably one of my most confident games. Eagles over the Cowboys. I don't know if it's any debate either way. even with Micah Parsons before he got traded, it was like, yeah, it's the Cowboys. Maybe it's competitive, but they're going to get in their own way because it's the Cowboys. Now they don't even have a defense. So Eagles going to win this game. It might be competitive for a little bit, but then the Eagles will pull away and they're going to go 1-0.
Hey, to be fair, Andrew, they now have a run stuffer, so they're set.
Well, then Jalen Hurts might have to throw the ball for 400 yards.
You know, as an Eagles fan, I'm okay with that.
Hmm.
I would not cry if that scenario happened. Can I just before I get to my pick, I just want to adjust a take. I don't know if people would remember this, but I came off a little cool on the Eagles' ability to get back to the Super Bowl earlier this offseason. And I felt like I was justified in that perspective. But I did not realize how badly the Commanders and the Cowboys would botch this offseason. Uh,
Yeah.
they are really trying hard to make this path easier for the Eagles.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
I still can't believe, Andrew, that the Commanders traded Robinson for a sixth to the 49ers.
Yeah, you could have got more than a six. I would have
That
thought
is
it'd been like a
insane.
four.
That is such bad value. Like you absolutely mismanaged that relationship so badly that people were able to
Hmm.
exploit it. Um, I just don't know what they were thinking. I know there might have been some character issues, but get creative.
Yeah.
When Zach Ertz was with the Eagles and there was a little bit of a back and forth and it wasn't a great spot, Howie just did the right thing. You know what? We're going to pause trade talks. We're just going to pause it. You don't have to be here, but we'll revisit this later this year. And that's exactly what the Commander should have done. You know what? We'll just pause things. It's fine. You take your moment. We'll look at this in like week 4 or week 8, and then we'll get you out of here. Don't just trade him right away. You got horrible value out of it. And the whole McLaurin situation, I know that he's under contract now, but
He missed a lot of
I,
time.
I'm not loving the vibes on that. I'm not.
Yep.
I feel like that the Commanders got a little bit in their own way more than they had to, and so it's
Yeah.
like, okay, what does this lead to? How do they look coming out of the game? How does this Debo Samuel
Hmm.
McLaurin combo look? Do they work well together? They certainly haven't gotten a lot of time together on the field practicing with each other. Um, so
Yeah. And a little
yeah,
foreshadowing. That's something that we're going to talk about when we get to that game pick.
mm, okay. So I'm definitely picking the Eagles here. On ESPN, they have you rank 1 through 16 the confidence scores. That's my 16. Um,
Yeah.
I'm the
I
most
probably would
confident
have the same.
in the Eagles game. So
Hmm.
should we switch to the second one?
Yeah, let's do it. So it's the Friday night game, Chiefs and Chargers. I'm just not sure. Maybe I'm not seeing things, but I'm not sure why the Chargers are getting so much hype. They're good, but everyone's putting them like as a candidate to be a Super Bowl contender, and I don't see it. They're putting them like in their power rankings, like number 7 and 8. I'm thinking, I don't see them that high because I mean, last year they got blown out in the playoffs. That looked
Mhm.
bad against a
Yeah,
Texans team that did not look good until that game. And then they just lost their tackle for the year, their stud tackle. It wasn't just they lost a guy; he is top 5 tackle in this league. They lost him for the year and they still don't really have a receiver outside Lad McConkey. They try to draft a couple guys, but we'll see if they pan out. I don't know. I'm just not buying it. So I got the Chiefs winning this game, and it's fairly confident for me as well. Even though I'm not a huge believer in the Chiefs either, because there are some holes there, but it's still Andy Reid, it's still Patrick Mahomes, and I don't see the Chargers. I don't know. I'm not even sure if I have them as a playoff team. They're going to be on that border of that 7-6 seed. Depends on if someone else gets hot. So I just not a believer in the Chargers, but I got the Chiefs winning that game, and I'm
yeah. Another
pretty
hot take,
confident in it.
Andrew, is I don't have the Chargers even finishing in second place in that division. Just don't see
Yeah,
that
I wouldn't
happening.
either. It to me. It's Chiefs Broncos 1-2, and the Broncos are close to being one. I can't put them there yet because I need to see them get better and improve. But Yeah, I have the Broncos over the Chargers for sure.
And here's another thing too I want to mention, and I think it's important. Jim Harbaugh's Michigan fiasco is just a hairy situation hanging over his head. We can
Right.
act like it's not a big distraction. It is a distraction. It is a distraction.
Hmm.
And I don't know what happened. And I'm not going to insinuate what happened as far as with the whole Michigan situation. But
Right.
it seems awful timely that he ran to the NFL after all of these investigations were wrapping
Hmm.
up. And his no comments make me think that he knows that things were going to happen that were going to cause him to get kicked out. So he took the ticket to another situation. And some things the NCAA does drives me nuts, but I just feel like that's not a great. Not loving the vibes. I'm not loving the
Hmm.
vibes. I'm not loving how much they expect Keenan Allen to be a difference maker. I think that that is a
Yeah.
mistake. Um, like, yeah. So I'm with you. I've got the Chiefs as well for this one.
What was your confidence level on that?
I put them at 10 out of 16.
That's fair. Yeah, pretty high, but not like
Yeah.
no chance of it changing. Yeah, I feel
No.
you. And then every week, I liked to either get a little bold-ish. I always got to pick an upset that no one else really would pick. And I had one that I was really close to doing. We'll talk about later because that would have been a huge upset. But my upset of the week is Falcons over the Bucks.
Okay.
Yeah. Now this is one of those ones I'm not super confident in. It probably like a three-ish, pretty low because the Bucks are the better team, but it's at the Falcons. The Falcons are kind of under the radar. They were a 500 team last year, and they were competitive in all their games. They almost made the playoffs. And Michael Penix Jr. is absolutely an upgrade over Kirk Cousins, and he's gonna get the full year this year. So they might be a sneaky playoff team this year, but they're at home. I'm gonna pick them over the Bucks. The Bucks are the better team. So, like I said, I'm not super confident, but I always like to pick an upset, and so that's mine is Falcons over the Bucks.
Yeah. I've got the Buccaneers here. Um, Granted, I'm in the same boat. I put them at 3 on my confidence scale.
Yeah,
So, yeah, we'll see how it goes, but it'll be a close game, I think.
yeah,
I think it'll be close.
for sure. It'll be competitive, and both those teams are good but not great. They're in that boat, and they're in the easiest division of football probably, outside of maybe the AFC South. And the next game, Bengals and Browns. That I mean, unless the Bengals do like they did last year with the Patriots, where they lose to a team they shouldn't lose to, I got the Bengals winning. I'm pretty confident in that. And something that's low key that's happening with the Bengals is they've played their starters in the preseason for a drive or two each game. They're trying to make sure they don't start off slow. I think it might actually work this year. I think they're going to look pretty good against the Browns, and it's the Browns. They better not lose to the Browns. So I got that as a high confidence Bengals win.
Same. I've got the Bengals. I put them at 15 for me.
Yeah.
Um, I I know the Bengals have a bad defense, but the Browns have a bad offense. This offense is
Yeah.
not capable right now of taking off. Just
Hmm.
But hey, listen, when you make a really bad decision at QB, it takes years to work out of it.
It really does. And they're still
Years.
on that outside looking in. Maybe in a couple of years, Dylan Gabriel will be the guy. He's shown flashes in the preseason. He could be. Neither one of us believe in Sure Sanders really, so I don't expect him to be the guy. And of course, it's not going to be Joe Flacco, but maybe Dylan Gabriel's going to turn into something in a couple of years. It's possible, but not this year.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with you. So, all
Um,
right. Who we got? It's the Dolphins Colts next, right?
yeah, yeah, and this one was kind of back and forth-ish for me because both teams are kind of okay, but they have their big time flaws. But I have the Dolphins winning this game. They have a better roster. I don't think they're better coached. I think that I mean he's already shown. Dolphins coach has already shown that McDaniel isn't all that great anymore. He was hot for the first year or two, but it's not looking great. And the Colts low key have a good coaching staff, but the Dolphins have an overall better roster. I think they'll sneak out this win this week.
Yeah, I've got the Dolphins winning as well. I put it as a 1 out of 16 confidence. I don't
Okay.
love.
Okay.
I understand everything you're saying. I just my confidence that Tua will make it through the game, that Tyreek won't have a tantrum on the sideline. Which, by the way, low
Yeah.
key story. Tyreek Hill wasn't even selected as a team captain. Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
uh,
for real.
just very disappointing situation for that guy. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
could not be having a worse, I think, stretch right now in terms of his career. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying he will have a bad season, but the mojo right now is just off. It's not good,
Yeah.
and got to right the ship. But I just I picked the Dolphins, but and it's only because of Daniel Jones. If they had a better quarterback in Indianapolis, I'm picking the Colts. But the quarterback position is such a mystery. I
Yeah.
didn't feel comfortable picking him. So
Yeah, that's totally fair. I'm with you. That was kind of a coin flip for me. The next game was one of the ones that I took a long time to decide. Patriots versus Raiders, because both these teams have potential this year. They've changed, they have a lot of change, roster, coaching, all that. They both look like they could potentially try to make a wild card run kind of a thing. So I literally just went back and forth, back and forth. It was a coin flip, but I picked the Patriots. This would be a confidence of one for me if I was doing that. And I'm picking the Patriots because of defense. I think they're gonna have a good enough defense to slow Genty down enough to where they can contain him enough where he's not gonna run ragged against them. And I just don't know about the pass catchers they have. And Jacob Myers is already saying he doesn't really want to be there and he wants to be traded. So is he even going to play? I don't know. Brock Bowers is amazing, but he can only do so much by himself. And I don't know. Mike Vrabel, I know that that both coaching staffs have been upgraded very much, and it's going to be competitive. It's just I think Mike Vrabel is going to turn things around enough to sneak out a win this week against the old 70-year-old gum chewer. But again,
well,
confidence level of like a one.
this is where we're going to flip. I'm going to go Raiders on this one. And I do understand what you're saying. I just feel like Drake May is still figuring out who he is as a quarterback.
Hmm.
Geno Smith knows who he is. And so I think
Hmm.
early season matchups favors the veteran. Late season
That's
matchups,
fair.
I'd say favors the younger player. So I'm going to go Raiders on this one, but I gave it like a confidence of 5.
Okay.
Um, and, maybe I should have the Buccaneers higher. I like what the Raiders got going on. I think people are going to be really surprised with what Genty and Brock Bowers do together in week 1. And
Hmm.
we'll see about Myers. That's unfortunate. It is certainly a distraction and will hurt their season, but when will it start hurting their season is unclear to me.
Yeah. 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 That's fair. Like I said, it was a coin flip. Both those teams are unknowns. We think
Mhm.
that they're going to be improved. We think they have potential, but we'll see. And week one's crazy. Next game was one of those easier ones. Cardinals over the Saints. I don't know if we have to really talk much about it. The Saints could be picking number one overall next year, and they might not be picking Archie Manning. He looked pretty bad. I'm just saying, but yeah, the Saints just I feel bad for Kellen Moore, but it's his decision. He decided to coach him, and they have a bad roster, and Spencer Rattler is eh. So Cardinals win this game. That's probably if Micah Parsons was still on the Cowboys, this probably would have been my most confident pick. But Eagles over Cowboys is my most confident, but this is number two.
Okay, I put this one as my number 3, so 14 most confident. Um,
Okay.
I just I know the Saints are bad, but the Browns are even worse to me. I
Okay.
I know that I know they have Miles Garrett. I know those other things. I just there's just so much going on with the Browns right now that I feel like there's at least hope for the Saints. I can see a path. They've got the coaching staff figured out. They know
Yeah.
that they need to
Yeah.
draft a quarterback. Whereas the Browns are in this position of it's when. When can we actually get a new quarterback? Well, they're in a bit of a catch 22. They can't afford Watson's current numbers, so they keep pushing off his numbers to later years. I think it's
Right.
2027 now is when they could finally really get out from under Watson. Um, I don't love that. And I don't love how it's shaping up. Um, so that's why I flipped it the way I did, but I
Hmm.
can't disagree with that. That's understandable.
Yeah. Yeah. The Browns have a really good defense. That's why I'm slightly more confident in them than the Saints this year. But I hear your point. The Saints have a better future than the Browns do, but this season, I would say the Saints are a worse team overall. But we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. The next game, Steelers against the Jets. This is interesting. So I thought about this a little bit. At first, I was having a difficult decision, but then I thought, I, as much as I don't believe in Aaron Rodgers and I don't like him, Justin Fields has also proven to not be all that great. He's getting a lot of
Mm.
hype, especially like in fantasy. I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't see it. I know he played okay for the Steelers last year for a little bit of time, but there's a reason they decided to go with Russell Wilson over Justin Fields because he ran their offense smoother than Fields did. Fields still hasn't proven he can pass the ball, and the Steelers have a top five defense. It's hard to argue that. So I went defense. I know the Jets have a pretty good defense too, but I went defense. I'm picking the Steelers to win this game, and my confidence is probably medium. If it was between the 1 and 16, it's probably like a 6.
See, this is interesting, Andrew. I went back and forth on this one and I flipped the other way.
Okay.
So I went with the Jets. I went with an 8. So literally right in the middle for my
Okay.
confidence. Um, I mentioned him before, but Arthur Smith is such a terrible coach to me.
Hmm.
It just takes Aaron Glenn, I think, has got the Jets on the right track. And I think that
Yeah.
I could see this being a glimpse game, a glimpse of like, oh, this is what it could be. I'm not saying this is what the Jets will be if they win on Sunday, but
Hmm.
this could be that game where you're like, all right, I see where we're going. I can see the vision. And this to me could be the Steelers game of, oh, this is how bad things are going to be this year for our team. We're going to have games that we're going to lose. I mean, I don't know. The Steelers should win this. My head says, Lance, the Steelers should win this 8 out of 10 times. You know what? You're right. I just think the 2 out of 10 times scenario is going to somehow win. I just,
It's
it's in
possible.
New York. I like the Jets defense. I think it's good enough. The offense is good enough.
Hmm.
I, I just really struggle with that Steelers offense. I I know Aaron Rodgers' numbers looked okay last year, but the eye test was bad. It
Yeah.
was really, really bad. And so I got the Jets in this one. I know I put them in a weird confidence spot. We'll see if Arthur Smith proves me wrong. And hopefully he does. Maybe the John Smith show
Hmm.
is going to take off more than I thought it would, but
Hmm.
uh, I need to see it. I need to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I went back and forth as well, but I just trust the Steelers defense more than I trust Justin Fields. So, but the next
Understandable.
game is the game I really want to talk about.
Okay.
Commanders and Giants. So I looked at this for a long time and I wanted to pick the Giants, and I almost did for a couple reasons. You touched on it earlier with a lot of things happened to the Commanders this offseason. A lot of things that you're like, trading Brian Robinson Jr. Do they have the backfield? Maybe, but that's a question mark. Terry McLaurin not signing, he not having chemistry, and he even mentioned like he was interviewed or something, and he said there's a difference between um, game shape and football shape, or vice versa, to where sure he's in shape
Yeah.
to play, but when you're on the field, it's different. You get tired really quickly, and he hasn't practiced much. So is that chemistry going to be there? I don't think so. And the other thing is the Giants defense is highly underrated. They might have the best D line in the league with Dexter Lawrence, Thibodeau, and they drafted Abdul Carter, that could get scary. They could make Daniel's life a nightmare if they can contain him. If they don't contain him, he's gonna get on the edge and just run all over the place. But if they can contain him, they're gonna be in his face all game long. The reason I couldn't do it though is Russell Wilson. I
Mm,
just couldn't get over him being the starting quarterback, and I couldn't pick him winning this game. I really wanted to. It's at Washington, and if I was picking the money line, I would definitely go the Giants side because I think it's like a 7 point spread or something stupid high.
okay. Yeah.
I would pick the Giants in that. I think it's going to be very competitive. I think it's going to be a close, nail-biting game. But in the end, I couldn't. I couldn't do it, so I picked the Commanders. But I was this close for that being my upset pick of the week. But I didn't. I couldn't do Russell Wilson, so I went Commanders here. But it was close.
That's totally understandable. And for me, I couldn't get past Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't get past it. As long as he's leading that offense is taking a step back.
Hmm.
And here's the other thing: if Dart is the future, why would you have Russell Wilson out there? I don't
Yeah.
know, man.
Wilson might play 5 games or something like that. But I mean, if you think of it the other way, he's better than what they had last year at quarterback because they had DeVito, they had Daniel Jones for a hot minute. So it is technically a slight upgrade, but is it an upgrade enough where you feel confident in that team? No.
Yeah. So yeah, I put this game at a 9 confidence level. So
Okay.
I
I
just
probably would have put it at like a 2. That's,
I I get it. It's the Russell Wilson factor for me.
yeah.
That's I,
Yeah.
I get it. I understand. And that's the to be fair, NFL games, the margins are so much tighter. You
Hmm.
don't get the college football blowouts most of the time in the NFL. It's typically that Panthers Eagles game last year is such a great example of the difference between a winner and loser. Because the Eagles won at the end, but they had to grind that out. I mean, they had to
Hmm.
really grind that out. Um, and that's how it is. The difference
Yep.
between a winner and loser, it's really just a few things: discipline, scheming, who's more well rested for that game,
Hmm.
and that could be huge factors in who's going to win. So I do understand what you're saying here. I can see Russell Wilson throwing 3 interceptions. I can't get that image out of my head. And I know he's not typically that type of guy, but this is also not the Russell Wilson we're used to. This isn't the Seattle
Yeah.
Seahawks Russell Wilson. We saw that in
Yeah.
Denver. We saw that in Pittsburgh. We will see that again in New York. So
Totally fair. Totally fair. Okay. I think the next game we're going to be different on. Just
okay,
just the vibes I get. I thought about this a little bit too, but I don't know. I kind of believe in the Jags. I don't know if I should or not. Maybe I'm just naive, but I kind of believe in them with their new coach, OC coming from Tampa Bay, who had Baker Mayfield had his best year ever as a pro. He now gets Trevor Lawrence, which a lot of people would say is a better talent than Baker Mayfield. I like Baker Mayfield's like competitiveness much more than Lawrence, but as pure talent as a quarterback goes, Trevor Lawrence probably is a little better. And so you're getting a good OC as your head coach. Brian Thomas Jr. is awesome. And then, like you said, they drafted Travis Hunter. We'll see if he can do something. And they drafted Tootin as the running backs. They have a three-headed monster over there with Bixby and ETN. I don't know. I'm just feeling that the Jags might surprise some people. And I wouldn't be surprised if they won the division. Maybe I'm just drinking too much Jags Kool-Aid this year. But this game's going to be very competitive. The Panthers are also an up and coming team, and this is another coin flip for me. But I'm going Jags. I'm going Duval.
so it's just funny that we both ended up on the same team for this one
Oh,
because, like,
really? Okay.
yeah. So, little context. I was at my wife's grandparents' house, and the Saints game was on. against the Jaguars for the preseason.
Okay.
And maybe I shouldn't have been so impressed, but how fast the Jaguars offense scored was really good.
Mm,
I mean, it was crisp the whole way. Trevor Lawrence is giving perfect throws, putting in perfect windows, and they really did make it look easy. Um, but watching that gave me a lot of confidence in seeing how orchestrated they looked in sync.
hmm
And, maybe they needed to turn a new leaf. Maybe Doug Peterson, maybe he literally just did have a lightning strike moment with the Eagles to win a Super Bowl. Maybe that was all he was going to have for his career. Um, but I feel the same way. I think the Jaguars, they might be better than people think they'll be. So
hmm
I end up going with them. I also think, by the way, that I think Trent Baalke was his name, the former GM. But I give the owner
hmm
props when Liam Cohen said, "I'm not coming if he's staying." Um,
Yeah.
that was a big moment, and it was a smart decision.
Yeah.
When you get a new coach, it's almost always time to get a new GM. I mean, you better be real sure that this GM is something special. And the Jags
hmm
drafting history has been subpar. They've had good moments, but they've had bad moments, but they've also picked high. So that kind of
hmm
affects your overall ability to get players. But yeah, I'm in the same boat here, Jaguars. And I put them
Okay.
down for a confidence of an 11.
Oh,
So
wow. Big time confidence. I wouldn't go that high. I would probably go like a four because the Panthers are also a
yeah,
team that people are sleeping on a little bit. Like you just said, they played the
I
Eagles
agree with
tight
you.
last year. And I
They
love
did.
Tet McMillan. I love him as a young wide receiver who's, I think, going to be their one. But overall, I agree. The next game was another high confidence. I mean,
Mhm.
Cam Ward is going to go to Denver and play that defense. Come on. He's probably throwing two picks or getting sacked five times. I got the Broncos win on this game. They, to me, are kind of a dark horse, like playoff run kind of team. I don't think they're going to make it past like the Bills or past a Ravens, maybe not even past the Chiefs in the playoffs, but they are going to compete. They are going to fight. They are a sneaky all around full team. It's just Bo Nix. Can he take that next step? I don't think he's going to this year, but if he does take the next step, this is a contending team. But I got the Broncos winning this game. Their defense is best in the league, in my opinion. And adding Evan Ingram, adding RJ Harvey, their offense is going to be a little bit better as well.
Yeah, I got the same thing. I put the Broncos over the Titans in my 13th. I put them at 13th for
Yeah,
my most confident.
I can hear that.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, the next game was another one that I was like, oh man, this is probably if I had a confidence of one or zero, that's what I would do with this one because I don't believe in either team. And both teams are kind of overhyped, especially San Francisco. But I'm picking San Francisco mainly because they have played together, that whole unit, for a long time. Shanahan's coached the same guys, Brock Purdy, Kittle, offensive line defense. They have a main core of the same. The Seattle Seahawks have a lot of changeover, and they're an unknown. Can Sam Darnold do it? Maybe, maybe not. Can the receivers look great having two slots in JSN and Cooper Cup? Maybe. I don't think so, but we'll see. So I'm picking the 49ers. I don't feel confident in it because I know Seattle's got some dogs on that team. They got some players, but I haven't seen it yet. That team they have. So I picked the 49ers to win this game.
And I also did the 49ers to win this game. I put them at a 12. And
Okay.
to provide some context, because I know you're over there, you're like, man, this guy, he beats up on the 49ers and he says the Panthers are going to be better than people think. This guy's like going flip flopping. I think the Sam Darnold experiment will start off rough. I'm not saying it will end rough, but I think it will start rough. I expect it to be a tough game for him. I also don't love the defensive matchup for Sam Darnold. Um, I think that I think it's going to be rough sledding for him for this
Hmm.
first game, and I think Salah will do a good enough job to put Darnold in positions he doesn't like.
That's kind of an underrated signing
Um,
this year is Saleh back as their DC.
and I need to see Cup and Njigba on the field. I
Yeah.
need to see this model work because right now I know what the 49ers can do. You've got Pearsall and um, you've got Jawan Jennings for this game. I think that's enough at receiver against the Seahawks to at least
Hmm.
get down the field. You've got George Kittle. I also think that the 49ers are a better team early because Christian McCaffrey is available.
Healthy for
Will he
now.
be
Yeah.
available later? I think that's a huge question mark. So
Yeah.
I think the
That's fair.
49ers, I think they come out strong, but that does not mean I'm on the hype train. That's not what I
Hmm.
mean by that pick. So
Hmm. Okay, the next three games are very interesting. These are going to be fun. First, Lions against the Packers. So we just had that episode with our good buddy Steven, and he talked about all the reasons that the Packers are better now with Michael Parsons. All that is 100% true. But how can you stop a stud like Micah Parsons? He's an edge rusher, and now, like he said, the Packers have a 4-3 defense. So he is pretty much going to stick to left or right side of the defense. He's not going to probably move around a whole lot, especially right out the gate because he just got to Green Bay. So how do you stop that? With great tackles. What do the Lions have? Great tackles. Penei Sewell could be the best tackle in the game. I mean, that's an argument for that. I wouldn't put him there. I'd probably put Lane Johnson there. But there's an argument. Penei Sewell's right there with him. And then Taylor Decker is also really good. He's a little older, so that's a little concerning, but he's also really good. It's their interior, the Lions' interior, that's gotten weaker. That might not be as great. But now the Packers interior got worse by losing Kenny Clark. So that's no longer weakness against strength. It's kind of a mesh. So I picked the Lions to win this game. I have to see the Micah Parsons experiment really work before I'm fully on board that they're a Super Bowl type contender. Potentially, yeah, if Jordan Love can get better and Micah Parsons is what everyone expects, then I can see it. But week one, the Lions are still the defending NFC North champs. Until they get beat, I'm not going to be able to pick against them, especially week one when they've had all offseason to prepare and Micah Parsons is just getting there. If this was week four or week five, and you've seen Micah Parsons move around and him being a dominant player that he usually is, I might pick the Packers to win. But for this one, I'm going Lions.
yeah, and I'm in the same boat. Picking the Lions for this one. I put them as a six, and
Yeah.
I think it's all about timing. Um, the Lions, I think, have more to be angry about. And I think they're
Mm.
going to take that anger into this game and take it out on the Packers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because if you're the Lions, it was a season of what could have been. Um, so much was going their way, and then injuries decimated the team. And then I don't know what you chalk up that Commanders loss to. Injuries was a part of it, but
Yeah.
they did not look right. Something was off with that team
Mm-hmm.
because the Commanders were able to pretty much have their way with the Lions. And
Yep.
so we'll see what that means for them moving forward. But I'd say give the Packers time. It's going to take time for Parsons to find his proper role.
Yeah.
But that's where I fall on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're in lockstep there pretty much. All right. Next game is Rams and Texans. And the Matthew Stafford news was the biggest factor in this. If he was healthy, I'm going Rams because the Texans aren't all that great as an overall team. They got a good defense, but it's because of that good defense and their pass rush, which is possibly the best in the game, a top three at least with Neil Hunter and Will Anderson, and just that frosty they have. I'm going Texans in this game because I
And
think that they're going to get to Matthew Stafford enough, and he's already ailing with that back, and he's kind of saying that he feels good enough to play. That's that's kind of scary to hear your quarterback say, "I feel good enough to play." You're 37 years old and you feel good enough. You're not saying I feel great. My back's better. No, I feel good enough. That's scary to me.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I think this is a bad week one matchup. The Rams are a better team, but with the way the Texans are built, that pass rush, I think they're going to cause problems for the Rams. I think the Texans are going to win this because they're going to beat up Matthew Stafford.
See, this is funny. I We both thought defensive line was going to be the factor, but I picked the Rams because of it.
That's fair. Totally fair.
Um,
Yeah,
I think the Rams have a little bit of a better offensive line. It's not great, but I'd say
that's
it's
fair.
better than the
Yeah,
Texans.
yeah.
Um, I think that Jared Verse is going to have a huge effect on what the Texans are able to do on offense. Here's the other factor we got to
Hmm.
throw out: the running back situation in Houston is not figured out, and that is
That's
a
very true.
big problem.
Hmm.
So I want the confidence factor of 4. The Rams are at home. I do think that helps them to get started out, but
Hmm.
I can't fault you for picking the Texans. That makes sense. Like I understand that thought process.
I mean, I'm not ever wanting injury or predicting it, but would I be surprised if Daniel Hunter or Will Anderson knocked Stafford out of the game because of that back? I wouldn't be shocked. I don't want that to happen. I want to see good football. I don't want to predict that, but I wouldn't be shocked because that back really concerns me.
Yeah, I understand.
So we got two left. We got Sunday night and Monday night. So Ravens against the Bills. This one, this is probably going to be the best game of the week, honestly, because it's two of the best teams going at it week one. I think we're going to be different here. I think
Oh,
we're going to be
really?
different.
Okay.
I went with the Ravens. I went with the Ravens
Ooh.
because I think they have an overall more complete roster than the Bills. The Bills have the better quarterback. I do want Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson every time, but the overall roster, the Ravens defense, they had Jared Alexander at just out of nowhere to go in their cornerback room. They drafted Malachi Starks out of Georgia. Their safeties are going to be great. They already have a good D line and good linebackers, and Derrick Henry is one of the best in the game. And they added playmakers like DeAndre Hopkins. He's going to have some kind of a role, even though he's older. He's still going to
Mhm.
contribute. So I'm going Ravens on this. I just think they're a more complete team, and I think they're going to sneak out a win. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be fun, but I got them winning this game.
And that all is fair. I went with the Buffalo Bills. At
Yeah.
home, Josh Allen.
Hmm.
Uh, Also, the Bills tied up their contract situations. They got Cook under contract pretty early. He was still at camp. He was still part of the process. I think Shakir and Coleman are a good enough wide receiver duo for Allen to continue to work his magic. Um, I just I need to see more for Lamar, and I know it's hard for me to say
This
that.
isn't the playoffs. This isn't the playoffs. This
I
is regular
know,
season. Regular season,
I
Lamar
know,
is usually fantastic.
but you have to remember that the Buffalo Bills feel like this is the playoffs. They know they know, and the Ravens know that this is a playoff game because a lot's going to be riding on it. Seeding is absolutely going to come down to this game
Hmm.
in some shape or form. And if it was in Baltimore, I could understand going with Baltimore. I just Buffalo has had Baltimore's number. They have they have
Hmm.
found a way to pull it out every time. And the last year's regular season game between the Bills and the Ravens, that was ugly. That was a very lopsided contest, and I got it at a confidence of a 2, so not very confident.
Right.
But uh, yeah, I got to see more, and I'm just not feeling it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear if this was the playoffs, I'm right there with you. But regular season Lamar is a real thing.
I understand, and I could be, like I said, I could be wrong. So I'm happy to come in and wear the L on Monday and to have Lamar hater, lovers just absolutely trashing me for my
Hmm.
bad take. I'm a grown man. I can live with that.
I mean, this is the battle of MVP candidates every single year. So it's not like Josh Allen is miles above Lamar Jackson or vice versa. They're both right there neck and neck because
It's
they're,
true.
I mean, one of them's probably winning MVP again this year. They're probably the highest odds.
Yeah.
And then the last game of the week, Monday Night Football. JJ McCarthy going home to Chicago. He grew up in Chicago, so everyone's saying this is an away game for him. No, this is kind of a home game for him. There was something cool that I saw online, but it was revealed that J.J. McCarthy's very first Bears game was Monday Night Football against the Vikings. Like he attended his first Bears game against the Vikings on Monday Night Football in 2007, I think it was. And that's the year Adrian Peterson just ran roughshod against the whole league, and the Vikings won that game. I just thought that was kind of cool. But I think if this game was later in the year, it could be a lot tighter because the Ben Johnson offense is complicated, and it's going to take time to really understand it for Caleb Williams. I think week one, it's going to be maybe there'll be sometimes it looks crisp, it looks great. Then there'll be sometimes it looks sloppy, that they're not really on the same page. And having that against the Brian Flores defense is not one you want to see week one. And we haven't seen this team yet. We haven't seen JJ McCarthy, but we've seen that team. So I'm not being a homer on this one. I'm picking the Vikings to win. It's going to be competitive. McCarthy's not going to light it up. He's just going to kind of manage the game ish, maybe kind of a plus version of managing the game. They're going to run the ball, play two tight ends a lot. Addison's out, so Thielen's going to be in there. Jalen Nadeau's actually going to play probably, so he'll get some snaps as well. But I think the defense is going to smother Caleb Williams enough, confuse him enough because he's not quite used to the system yet, especially in real games, that they're going to make enough plays on defense where they're going to get a win. It's probably going to be like a 5 point win for the Vikings, something like that. It's going to be competitive, going down to the wire, but I got Minnesota winning this game. I think you're muted.
I put Minnesota down as well. So I've got the Vikings winning, confidence of 7. So not
That's
the
fair.
most confident, but fairly confident.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
don't
Bears
think
are
there's anything
unknown.
else.
They could be great, or this could explode in their faces. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Everyone's crowning them as the offseason champs yet again, like they are every year. But what do we see every year? Like a 6, 7 win team. So
Yeah. Well, I don't think this to say that the Bears can't get better, but man,
yeah.
that NFC North
Hmm.
is such a good division this year. Um, I mean,
For sure.
the Bears, I think, could easily be the fourth best team, but in the Eagles division, they might even be the borderline second, third best team.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair. And they could win the NFC South.
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, it's just a give and take. So I think there's still more for the Bears to figure out. Loveland's got to find his place in the offense.
Right.
Um, DJ Moore, I think, hasn't ever really flipped the switch to like really being what he could be. He's been
Hmm.
good, but I just feel like that there's another level. There's another
Yeah.
level he just quite hasn't been able to get to. Does he get there? The offensive line situation, what does that look like?
Hmm.
Um, and this defense is okay. It'll be interesting to see how it's going to unfold on Monday. But yeah, this could be an interesting game for JJ McCarthy. It's a good coming out party if he decides to have
Hmm.
one.
Yep. Yep. For sure. All right.
So
That's
there
our
we
game
go.
picks. We probably had like 3 or 4 differences, but most of them were pretty lockstep, I would say.
Let's see here. Yeah, I think we're pretty similar. So
Yeah,
the
the
Raiders game
Patriots
we were
Raiders
different.
game, yeah, the Steelers Jets, and then Rams Texans and Bills Ravens. I think those are our 4 difference.
Alrighty. Well, it'll be fun, man, to see how these games turn out. So I'm excited to compare
Yeah,
notes on Monday
yeah,
or
we'll try to do
Tuesday.
this every week. Every week we'll see. We'll continue to pick some games and see how close we are.
Cool. Well, I hope everyone enjoys watching my Eagles start off the year and get a W.
Hmm.
That's what I'm
Yes,
fully expecting. So
yes.
that's what I want to see.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you guys for joining us this week on the Gridiron Grind with Andrew and Lance. We'll be back soon, maybe after games on Monday. We'll see. But be sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.